Hey, welcome back to the Low Carb Hustle podcast. If you're looking to put a little muscle behind that low carb hustle, you're in the right spot. Today, I'm so excited. We have a very special guest joining us. Friend of the show, Melissa Vogel, is here in person. I can literally see her. For those of you guys who don't know Melissa, she has been in fitness for over 2 decades. She's got martial arts, and she's got a black belt in Taekwondo. She does jujitsu. She's a model. She's an actress. She's a mom of 3. She does it all. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nate and listeners. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I should say welcome back because you're kind of like a fan favorite.
I have been here before. I don't know if I'm a fan favorite, but I'll take it.
Everyone keeps emailing me and be like, Melissa's the best. Melissa's my favorite. Everyone says so.
Oh, well, I'll take it. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to have you on. So before we jump into talking about going from busy mom to bomb mom.
I love it. I love when people get tongue tied on it because we're like, are we being bomb moms that are fit and bomb and boogie? And like, it just gets so jumbled. I'm like, it's okay.
I'm with that. How long ago did you start that website?
Busy to Bomb Fit Mom has been going on. We are on year 3 now.
Okay.
So this is still fairly new with this program, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right. And is your email address melissa@busytobombfitmom.com?
No, it's not.
That's probably good. You probably lose a lot of emails that way.
Yeah. No, it's not. My email's very simple with my name, but the website has a ring to it, busytobombfitmom.com.
I like it. Yeah. You put that in an infomercial for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We can do that at the end of the episode too.
Oh, there you go. .net just wouldn't have worked.
No. And also just don't use a .net. Just like, that's .net was like, wait, we're happening. .net is happening. And it's never happening.
No, it never took off.
No. So have you seen some of these other ones though? It's like .tv or .fitness or there's like a lot of other things you can add now. I always want to. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I was like, .com's kind of still the.
I get like emails of people are like, grab up this domain and it's like .something or whatever. And it's my name. And I'm like, no, I'll stick to what I got. And they're like, no, buy now. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're like, this is one of those little Bitcoin things. Yes. Not falling for that again.
For sure.
So before we get into to all of it, I just kind of wanted to hear you've been in the industry for a long time in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
What's the next big thing in fitness? What are we going to be talking about 1 year from now?
I think people are still trying to get caught up with this whole online fitness thing because COVID, it pushed us in this direction. It pushed many, many people. But the problem was people try to become these online trainers and just move everything online. They're like, oh, I'll just create something and then sell it and everyone can buy it and just do it. And there's a really wrong way to do that. Not everyone can be an online trainer, just like in person. Not everyone can be a good in-person trainer and help and be a coach. It's the same thing with online. And unfortunately, a lot of people are just wasting money and it's just like flying out the window because they're not doing it right. But I think people are going to get better and smarter with doing fitness online and be more open to it, since it's not like a year from now, people aren't going to be pushed to it. It's going to be a choice. And it's cool because when you can do it online and you have a way to have accountability, the right workouts, like you're not showing up on some trainer at the gym's dime and schedule, you can make it work, but you're still getting the benefits of it. I see this becoming even more big and people being more open to it. Cause I still get the people that are like, oh, I just need a trainer in person. I just need someone there pushing me. You do, but you don't.
I think it's like training wheels, right? You get someone pushing you, get someone checking your form. There's a time and a place for that for sure.
Yes.
But then at some point you need to take autonomy and take charge of your own. And I think that's where online is so great. Like I always considered myself an amazing personal trainer. I thought I was awesome at it. And I thought, going online, I'll be the same thing. I'll be awesome at online. And I sucked. Because it was so much more about the habits and the lifestyle and the accountability. And I didn't have those tools like you were talking about. So I've been primarily online since 2015. And for those first 3 years, I just got to apologize to all my clients.
Right.
We did you wrong. I just like shipping off workouts and Excel documents wasn't serving people.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
I just didn't have the systems in place. So
Right.
live and learn. I was only charging them like $60 a month. So it's probably fine.
Yeah.
True or false though? Do you need to have been an online or in-person personal trainer to be an excellent online coach? What do you think?
It sure does help. It helps. Because if you have that in-person knowledge and skill and like hands-on ability, it does help to be able to do it virtually and use your brain and with, anatomy and helping people squat, because you're like making a video now and showing people or whatever. I would have struggled if I didn't have all these years under my belt in person. I think I would have struggled being an online coach, and I don't know if I could have done it.
I would agree. For a while, I was actually helping other personal trainers move their businesses online. Mm-hmm. And the people who did not come with any sort of in-person knowledge struggle fest. It was so hard for them. And then also, like, why shouldn't it be? Who's going to trust them they have no body of work. They've got like, their only like testimonials are themselves, their before and after is always themselves, so it's like someone like loses a couple pounds after having a baby or to get in shape for their wedding. And now they train brides, and you're like,
yeah,
really?
Uh-huh.
Really though?
Yeah.
Bulgarian split squat. I did not like how it looked.
No, it's true. And you just learn so much knowledge when you're actually hands-on and with people. So again, there's a time and the place. I love the training wheel analogy and stuff. But it's just that experience that I think we all have to just put in. You have to put in your time and your dues and that practice to grow whatever type of program you want to do, whether it's online or in person or boot camps or whatever. Like that knowledge, it's power.
Yeah. And personal training is a lot about problem solving too. So you got to like figure all that out. So you've been doing this a while. I've been in this since 2008. So when I was first starting off as a personal trainer, everybody wanted to train athletes, or at least all 22-year-old males wanted to train athletes. And so one of the best things I ever did was working at this big box gym with a bunch of people to try to train a ton of people who were in their 60s and 70s who just wanted like bone densities. This guy wanted to be an athlete. This lady just wanted to be healthy. She needed to lose 100 pounds, and getting all those seeing who you actually vibe with, because not everyone can train those athletes or celebrities. You got to find that niche, the people that you like working with, that light you up rather than taking energy from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting learning who you like to work with. And I started out in gyms too. And then I got into classes, they would like tell me to hide my age. They're like, don't tell anyone that you're 16 teaching them. I'm like, why? Because I got in so young, and they were like, you're really good at this. And I'm like, I've never done it before. And then I guess just my energy and what I did and how I coached them, like just became, contagious, and it spread, and my classes were filled. But it was interesting finding out the type of client that I like to work with and that I didn't like to work with, because you always got like Bob in the background that's, just dragging ass every single class and doesn't listen to you, and Susie Q and the other one that's just like, going slow. And she's like, oh, I want to sweat. I just did my makeup before you came to class, wait a minute here. Wait a minute. And I'm like, definitely not who I want to work with, but it's interesting trying to figure out who you mesh with, who doesn't work for you. But again, it's a learning thing that has to take place.
Yeah. I love, like, you're the premier example of like paying your dues, because you started off like working for a gym membership by going in and cleaning the equipment. And then you kind of got like ramped up into teaching some of these classes. It's like you've put in the time in every little aspect. So like,
I love that you know that.
I've done my research.
Yeah. I mean, who does that,
AKA stalked you a bunch online.
It's so good. I love it. But yeah, it is. I have put in my time, and I have literally trained across the country, because I'm originally from Michigan, now in California, and moving, across my way here. Like I've seen East Coast people and people out here. It's been a journey, but it's also got me to where I'm at. I've learned from all that, but yeah.
So from like having all these clients and seeing people across the US and having trained from like being really young and seeing people that you love to train and don't love to train, what are like one or two characteristics of people that you're like, that's my person, and I know they're going to succeed?
Yeah. I love right now, I love women that are hustlers, that work, you don't have to work, but have kids, work, do the things. And they used to be fit, like, because that means they have that inner beast inside them that like just got covered up with fat, work, stress, kids, job, life, but she's in there. Like she's in there. It's not to say that I can't don't work with women that have never been fit. They've just probably been like skinny their whole life and they were lucky that they didn't have to work for it before. But I love that woman that like was a college athlete, or I get a lot of ex-military right now. It's crazy. I had just a couple clients just this week that were Army, and then life happened, because that means she's got it in there and it's just dying to come out. And then she gives you 110% and she fails and she's not afraid to fail. And she's like, okay, I know what happened. I'm not going to do that again. What's next, coach? And she's totally coachable because she's done it before.
I love that you said coachable, because I think that a lot of times I've been getting this question a lot recently, and it frustrates me. It's like, well, what you said is this, but can I do it like this? This is how I've been doing it. And I go,
yes.
Has that been working for you? Like, why are we having this conversation? Why don't you just, like, one thing I think that like for me is indicative of someone's success is the ability to go all in, the ability to like buy into some, like whatever nonsense, whatever Kool-Aid you're selling. It's like, okay, I hired this coach. I'm 100% in. I might not agree with it. I might not even understand it, but I'm going for it because that's my person. I made that choice.
Yeah. And you have to be willing. Like, we can give all the excuses in the world, right? Like I just did a live on this the other day and I'm like, everyone says I want to do this, but I'm stressed or I'm traveling a lot. And when I'm on the road, I can't eat the greatest and I have this going on, whatever. And I'm just like, stop. No more. Are you willing to let that go? Are you willing to change? Because right now, man, you're holding on to all those excuses. You're holding on to kids got practice and I'm up late and then I have work and these emails and, grab and go is easy and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're holding on tight. Are you willing to let that go? Do you want to know what's on the other side of it? And you know what? Sometimes the answer is no. So sometimes people don't want to, they just don't want to admit it, but it's a beautiful thing when I can get to someone and be like, are you willing? And they're like, yes, I am.
I also like a good no. I'm not willing. I'm not ready. I'd rather have a good no than a bad yes.
Yes. 100%.
But I love that question. Are you willing? Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that sometimes people like, I work with a lot of men, a lot of guys who are like, I'm 100%, I'm all or nothing. And I'm like, how's that serving you so far? You're 280 right now. You're all or nothing on that too. Like how's that working for you?
Uh-huh.
So I think that's a great question. Good way to put that in a way that like puts the power back on them.
Yeah. And it drives me crazy because so many people say they want up here, they're like, I want the body and I want to lose weight and I want to do this, but their effort is way down here. And I'm like, are you seeing the discrepancy of how they don't match? You're telling me what you want, but then you're telling me like, oh, I only have 45 minutes to dedicate to my workout today. But the person that you want to be, like that chick's in the gym an hour and a half. Like she's lifting legs just one day. And then another day she's just doing arms. And if you don't want that, that's okay. But I'm telling you what you have to do to become her. Because that just doesn't happen easy. That doesn't happen from a 45-minute spin class. I know. I went there.
Shots fired. Peloton, we're coming for you next.
I went there.
Yeah, I like that. It's like, hey, I'm gonna like you because you can't outsource your own push-ups. You can't do someone's push-ups for them, right? You're a guide. You show them the path. You set expectations, and you're like, you can walk the path. And they're like, I can't walk that path. You're like, well, here are these other paths that are available to you, but you said you wanted this one.
Mm-hmm. And that path will lead you somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And if you see what is that's at the end, if like there's an image or like a body standing there and like, that's what you'll get. I bet you'll be like, oh no, I don't want that path. I don't want that path. Retreat.
Yeah. I think that, but like having those expectations, having like the accurate, like here, like I like to think about like what things cost, right? Having a 6-pack, that costs something. It costs time,
Yes.
it costs energy, it costs meal prep, it costs you not drinking at when like everyone's at Red Robin and grandma's like, let's have another set of shots. And you're like, come on, grandma, chill out.
I want that grandma.
Yeah. Come on, Ruth, let's go. So like if there's a cost associated with it, whether that's financial, time, or otherwise, like if you know what the cost is and you go, yes, I'm willing to pay that, I think you're gonna be a lot more successful.
Mm-hmm. We must be on like the same wavelength right now, because I just talked about this yesterday of like paying the price. Everyone pays a price. I pay a price. You might not believe me, but I pay a price, and it's just, what price do you want to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd rather pay the price of possibly getting injured rolling, or doing jujitsu or lifting or like pulling muscle, than pay the price of being fat and overweight and I can't get up and I'm out of breath. And then I, dislocate my knee because my core's not strong enough to catch me when I trip.
You want to get injured in a triangle. You don't want to get injured getting up from the couch.
Yes. I prefer to be doing the triangle on someone, but it doesn't always work out that way. But yeah, there is a price to pay.
So I wanted to dive into something that I think is like a really interesting topic. I've heard you talk about it once or twice before. And I think it's something that like we've all talked about. Oh, women can lift heavier weights and not get bulky. We've kind of like, I don't want to there's some people that still believe that, but I think that myth has been put to bed by a lot of smart people. Mm-hmm. One thing that I don't think gets brought up and talked about very often is this dichotomy between health, which I think of as like organic fruits and vegetables, like longevity, and fitness, which is more like, how's your muscle tone look? What's your body fat percentage? Do you have a six pack? Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about what the differences are there, how though you've experienced them in your own life, and how you help clients understand the differences?
Yeah, it's something that people just don't talk about. And everyone thinks that like, oh, if I'm healthy and I eat healthy, then I'm going to be lean and like ripped. And there's a huge difference, especially with food, with what you eat that's healthy versus what you eat that's going to get you lean. And just because something's healthy doesn't mean it's going to get you abs. But no one wants to admit this because getting lean and really shedding off weight so you can actually see some definition in your core. And there's a difference between your delt and when your bicep starts, it's hard. It's a tougher path, but I used to be super healthy, and I'm still healthy, but I would eat organic toast every morning with organic peanut butter, or, everyone had like organic cereal, and then I'd eat my organic apple. And then for lunch, I'd have my, great sandwich with bread, and my mayonnaise was organic. Don't worry. That was organic. And then I'd have our non-GMO Oreos after, and my chip, yes.
You do not want GMOs in your Oreos. You want them, you want to get them the way they come off a tree. You want to just have the freshly picked Oreos.
Right. Exactly. Those are the best. But I would do all these things, and I was just living this super healthy life. And then I would get so mad that I wasn't stripping that last layer of fat that would come off, and that went into my workouts too. Going to the gym and being active and doing the elliptical and sweating and doing classes or teaching the classes, super healthy. Super healthy. I'm totally active. My heart and lungs are on point. But it wasn't getting me lean and ripped. And I had to learn that, hey, you know what? Want to know what's the difference between healthy and fit and being like lean and having a fat layer? It's subbing out bread for romaine, and having like the biggest, juiciest sandwich made out of romaine leaves with all the toppings, because that carb is totally different. And I'm saving calories, but I'm getting really full on a small amount, of a caloric intake. And learning little tricks like that. And then learning to give up being a cardio bunny. That was hard, because we all think like, oh, if I'm sweating and it's just dripping off of me and I got like stains on my shirt, that means I got a good workout.
Sweat is fat crying.
Yeah, totally. It's your fat crying. It's leaving your body. Not true, because I can do a killer arm workout, burn 500 calories, and not really sweat a whole lot. I'm crying. My legs are on fire, But I had to let go and learn that, like, yeah, it's healthy and great for my heart and stuff. But if I'm looking to be really fit and tone up, I have to have progressive overload. I have to rip and tear those muscles. And I'm not going to get that by running every day or doing a class every day. Like, I'm not going to get that overload on my muscles and breaking it down. And this looks different on everyone. That's one thing I've learned, is this completely looks different on everyone, and a great example is with alcohol. I can get away with drinking every now and then if I wanted to. I could probably even drink wine every night if I wanted to. I have clients, though, that their body will hold on to fat if they have just like 2 glasses a week or 3 glasses a week, and they've cut back and tried. And then when they play around with it, I'm like, let's just be curious. Let's be open and see what happens when you give it up. Let's give it up for a month. Boom, 3% body fat's just coming off of them. And I'm like, your body does not like alcohol. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see how it works differently on everyone. But you got to learn. You have to learn what is going to get you lean and fit versus just living a healthy life.
I 100% agree. And I love what you like, kind of the distinction you put of the nutrition and also the fitness. Cause I think that fitness is really easy to debunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the Rocky movies. I love them so much, but I do think that they did a disservice to us in the industry, because people think fat loss, running, go up the steps, arms above my hand. Like that's what they start thinking of as a fat burning exercise, or even worse, that low weight, high reps. I'm going to do 37 lateral raises. That'll burn the fat on my shoulders. And you're like, we have to kind of go back and be like, no, if you want the fitness that you're saying you want, then you have to change that outlook, right? The same inputs that you've been doing all the time are, if you just keep doing them, they're going to give you the same output. We have to change the inputs if you want to look, feel, perform different.
Well, look at like the videos, and I'm not going to say any names, but there's videos out there where everyone's in a gym setting doing this workout and just dripping sweat.
Can I say some names?
You got
Yeah. So you're talking about Orange Theory then, right?
Orange Theory, the P90X, oh my God, you're making me say names.
F45. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Like all of them, oh God, what's the one? It's not Turbo Kick. There was the ab one. Oh my God, I can't think of the guy's name. And he did it. And someone's screaming it right now. And they're like, it's this. Oh, I can't think of it, but they are just drip insanity.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I heard you who was screaming it to the radio. Insanity. You don't have to be insane. You
wait. Say that again, but slower.
Right? Yeah, you don't have to be insane. But that's what we're fed. That's what we think,
Train insane or remain the same, right, Melissa? Come on. It's on a t-shirt. Nike makes it.
It is on a t-shirt. I'm like, no, that's not true. No, it's like, be smart, do the right thing, learn your body, collect the data. But that's not very sexy to have on a t-shirt.
Learn your body, collect the data.
Collect the data.
Listen, you put that t-shirt together, I will buy it.
I will. And then I'll put my logo in the corner.
Be curious. Have fun when you lift. Poorly selling gym shirts.
Yeah,
Have fun at the gym. You're going to like it.
You're going to like it. Stay off the elliptical.
Yeah. Exercise. It's healthy and it's going to be good for your longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Bone density.
Progressive overload.
Oh, I love it. We should have a whole line of just gym shirts that no one buys.
No, it makes sense to no one, but maybe like 2 people in the gym.
Yeah, I like it. I like, having ideas like this that have zero earning potential. It's perfect.
Right? Yeah.
But I like it to, when I think about like fitness, right? I kind of like the idea in my head I've always had about how I want to look, how I want to perform, how I want to like wake up. I look at bodybuilders, right? Success leaves clues, right? You see bodybuilders, they lift heavy weights for lower reps pretty slowly. They're not like sweating and jumping around and doing a bunch. You don't see a bodybuilder doing burpees. I never seen that happen before.
No.
Right. And then you look at their nutrition and they're eating boring stuff. And then they're doing like low intensity cardio. Most of the time I see bodybuilders walking with a huge incline and they're holding on like this. And I'm like, holding on. That's not an angle anymore, right? Okay, never mind. But success leaves clues, right? If you want to look, have that level of leanness, have that level of muscle definition, maybe you should do what those people are doing and not what DK Metcalf said, where he's like, I eat a bunch of candy every day. You're like, well, you train 8 hours a day and you're a freak. So
yeah, but we want to follow the crowd.
Mhm.
We want to follow the masses and the popular of like, well, but it's so appealing because everyone's doing it. Do I really want to follow the lone wolf over in the corner? Yes, you do. You really, really do.
As long as the lone wolf is you in this scenario, then yeah, I'm into
Yes. Yes. It's just sad. I talk to so many women a day and I hear so many different stories, and women cry and their journey that they've been on and where they're at. It's just heartbreaking and they want out. And then when I tell them, I'm not going to give you a meal plan or a diet program to follow, and I'm not going to like write out this workout hand to you, they're like, wait, what? Wait, you know what? Maybe this isn't a fit for me. I'm like, you're right. Go back to doing what you know
That's been clearly working for you.
Clearly. Yeah.
Why are we on this call again? Remind me.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's heartbreaking, but yeah, people like to follow the masses.
Yeah. And also like, everyone's gonna have their own journey too, right? Some people are just not ready to hear that yet because it conflicts with their paradigm. It conflicts with what they've been told, what they believe. They go in wanting to be like, hey, can you write me a 900 calorie meal plan that's only vegan? And you're like, hold up.
No
what?
gluten.
Yeah. I'm gluten intolerant. I just decided I need a vegan meal plan and it needs to be keto hybrid. So you have one of those?
Right. Well, and can we talk about the people that aren't ready and they think they're ready and they want to go into this, but their environment around them is a mess. Ooh. And they're trying to go on this journey and they got the husband or the wife who's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they live in a culture where everything's celebrated with food and they get together with grandma and grandpa every single Sunday and everyone just gorges themselves and grandma's bringing home pizza on Mondays and donuts. And it's like their environment and what's around them does not support their goals. And people don't see how this will hold you back too. You want to change and train and be someone completely different that's different than your entire family and your friends. Are you ready to take that on?
Just like, I think about like, if you're like you grew up in kind of a conservative family, it's like akin to getting a neck tattoo. Are you ready to come home with a neck tattoo?
Yeah. That's so ridiculous. It's such a weird example, but it spoke to me. I get it, but you're right. Like you're totally right. And people, especially women, don't see how this plays into their journey and their role. And like, they'll lose weight and mom and dad will be like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. And your sister will be like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. And then they lose 10 pounds, but then you hit this limit and no one wants you to break that limit because now you're looking better than them and you bringing out all their insecurities.
Don't you think you're just a little too skinny?
Yeah. Have you eaten today?
Have seconds, have some more of And a lot of people don't even realize they're doing that. That just kind of happens subconsciously because they're dealing with their own internal insecurities.
Yeah. No one talks about this. Your personal trainer at the gym doing squats with is not going to tell you, are you ready to be the sexy rip sister? Are you ready to show up to the 4th of July party just in your bikini with no cover up on? And people don't realize this plays into self-sabotaging behavior. You will subconsciously ruin your own fitness journey and your own story because you haven't prepped to be the person you're going to become and play this new role. It held me back.
Are you familiar with the 4 tendencies?
I've heard of them, but I can't list them for you.
So basically it just says like there's 4 different types of people who interact with their environment, basically respond to outside influence.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Right. So like there's like the rebels who don't do what they want to do and they don't want to do what anyone else wants to do. There's like the obliger who are great at doing what other people want them to do, but it's hard for them to do what they want. There's 2 other ones, but I think that a lot of the women I speak to fall into that obliger camp. And I think this is a mom thing as well, where we want to we want to be so good, be everything to every other person, right? And I say we, I mean, I'm talking about you here, not because I'm not a mom.
I gotcha.
I see my wife doing this, right?
Yeah.
And so when you when you are now taking that on, I'm like, I want to be ripped. I want to have this, like, change my paradigm. I want to be eating in this different way. Like, to your point about self-sabotage, if you're an obliger and you haven't acknowledged that and dealt with that, oftentimes you'll hold yourself back because you want to keep everyone else around you comfortable. And so you don't allow yourself that growth because you know internally that that's going to create some feelings of discord.
Oh my God, so much. That's such a good point. It does. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm not the people pleaser, especially if you're a middle child.
I'm not. I'm the oldest, but
try being a mom and a middle child and an obliger. Like it's nuts. That's all me. But yeah, these that's why I love doing podcasts like this. This is why I love having just raw, real conversations about this, because you never know who's going to listen, male or female. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But light bulbs are going to go off and they're going to be like, oh my God, they're right. This is me. Holy shit, what he said was totally
this is
true.
My pattern. I always do this. I get 10 pounds off, then it comes right back, you know?
And they had no idea that fulfilling certain roles and, you know, pleasing everyone affected their abs.
Yeah, because we're not talking about a meal plan. We're not talking about a squat rep scheme. We're talking about that deep internally seated, because you think that, oh no, they're like, it didn't work for me. Keto didn't work for me. Low carb didn't work for me, whatever. It's okay. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But what's going on with your own psyche? What's going on with your own mentality? How are you interacting with the people around you? I think that you brought up an amazing point about that environment as well. Because environment is not just how your kitchen is set up.
No,
it's the people in your community. It's your friends and family.
Yeah. They say you're the sum of the top 5 people you hang around most.
That's terrible news for me. I hang out with a 3-year-old a lot.
That says a lot. No.
She's such a savage. Sometimes I find myself saying things that she says and I'm like, oh, that just came out of my mouth.
It'll change. Your circle of 5 will change over the years.
And hopefully I can bring her up rather than her just bringing me down, but you know, we'll see.
But it's true. You know, if you got real crappy friends, take a look.
You're going to be real crappy.
Take a look. And I had to break away. From a few different friend groups, you know, over the years, because I would be the mom. I found myself being the mom at the pool party, wearing a cover up when it's 120 degrees in Southern California, because all the other moms were. And I didn't want to take it off and be the one that stood out. And then they would all talk about me, and then I'd feel bad about myself. And then I wouldn't show up for my workout. And like it all just spiraled out of control. And I had to look at that. And I'm like, do I want to hang out with people that make me feel bad about me? You know, like make me second guess all my work?
It's a tough question.
And it's hard.
Yeah. It's hard to be outlier. It's hard to be different. Right. I think having kind of a little bit more of like I feel like I've used the word savage a few times, but having a savage mentality and just being like the thing I like to say is like, people are like, hey, you want some cake? I go, no, cake gives me a headache. And like having that kind of like, And I think that after a while, people stop asking you stupid shit like that. And then, but also like, it just kind of reinforces to yourself that you're like, no, I am like set apart. I am different. I do not do the common thing. Can you talk a little bit, Melissa, about kind of going back to that obliger, that tendency thing of being like, I want to take care of my kids. I need to be there for my kids. But in reality, what we're doing is we're showcasing behaviors that are not going to serve them later. And we're also not showing up as our best, most positive, energetic selves either. Can you talk about kind of like that difference, especially in moms?
Yeah, this makes a lot of people mad.
We're already shots fired. So
we're already there. Because here's the thing. Women don't want to hear that they can't raise confident. We'll just stick with girls because it's easy. Women can't raise confident, strong females if they aren't one themselves. It's not impossible, but it's really, really hard. And a mom doesn't want to hear that because they're like, no, my kids are great. They love themselves. They're confident. You should see her out on the court. But then she sees mom at home covering up with a sweatshirt around her waist, starving herself, not showing up, saying, oh, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. And then the 5-year-old sees and knows you didn't go to the gym. Right? And these kids are watching. They know when you show up. They hear you say like, oh, I can't, I'm on a diet, or mommy's too fat. Like the self, like just sabotaging and like just destructive words that come out of mom's mouth in front of their kids. I'm like, oh, I hold my breath, and my children are super aware of it. So now when they hear another mom say something or say something in front of the kids, they're like, Mom, did you hear what she just said? And I'm like, shh, shh. Like, no, but she just said her thighs were too, this happened just the other day. She's like, she said her thighs were too big and she can't cross them. And she said it in front of her daughter. And I'm like, oh my God. Shh.
You're like, hey, you guys aren't normal. You know that, right?
Yeah, you guys are normal. So zip it. But it's true. And then the kids pick this up. And it's so, you see it so much in teenagers now. It's cool to put yourself down. You know that scene in Mean Girls when they're all standing in her bedroom and she's like, I got big pores and oh my God, I'm so fat. And then they like all look at the girl and they're like, what about you? And she's like, I have bad breath in the morning. That's reality though. They are literally standing in the mirrors in a bathroom at school, putting themselves down, saying how terrible they are. And probably heard mom say 10 bad things about themselves and how nothing fits in my closet, go get in the car. I don't know what I'm going to wear to work today, but just get in the car. Nothing fits. I'm fat, and then the girls in the bathroom, like these connections are happening. And then on top of it, you don't like yourself. Your self-confidence is low. You're not getting proper fuel. You're living off of caffeine. You're like showing up for some stupid workout at the gym only because you can put your name down on the list and you have to pay $10 if you don't go. And it doesn't get you anywhere, do anything. So you're just unhappy about everything. And that's the mom you are to your children. Burnt out, slow, barely surviving, just hanging on, a robot living day to day. And that's the kind of parent that your kids are getting. People do not like to hear this.
I can't imagine why.
Are you going to cry?
I have to pause this real quick because I'm tearing up a little bit. The kids are listening. I love that point about what you made about, you're listening to your self-talk. How do you speak about yourself? How do you, like, my wife and I have a deal where we do not talk negatively about each other to anyone else. And I think that's the first step.
Yeah.
The second step is we do not talk negatively about ourselves in front, like to anyone else either. And then I think the third step, the one that you brought up briefly, was if you say you're going to do something, you damn well better follow through on that, because otherwise, two things. Number one, like if you're single, you're doing your own thing, you don't have anyone like looking at you, whatever, you don't believe you. And if you don't believe you, why should anyone else? And then if you got kids, if you have a husband, if you have a family, people who are looking at you, you're the leader. And you say, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get in shape. This is the year for me. And you don't do it, and you don't do it, and you don't do it. What is your word worth?
Yeah.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier about like, what are you willing to pay? What do you want? Because like, if you're like, oh, I want those abs, but you're only willing to get like, to do the health thing, and you're not going to pay the 6-pack price, then just say that. Just say that and follow through on it. It doesn't, like, you're not better for being like, oh, I have abs. No one's better than anyone else because they have a lower body fat percentage. But if you keep saying over and over again, you want X and you constantly perform at Y, why should anyone believe anything you say ever?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that causes a big problem if you do hit rock bottom and your should now becomes your must and you have to take action. No one's going to believe you. And I get women who I believe them. And then they're like, I'm ready to do this. Like I'm committing, I'm going to pay, I'm doing this thing. I'm like, awesome, come on board, and then they talk to their husbands and they're like, no, do you know how many things you've tried and failed and you've wasted our money? And I'm like, oh my God, it kills me, but they're right. And I'm like, but look at your pattern. Look, he's right. You're going to have to do some work to build that up. But man, every time you say, I'm going to go to the gym today and you don't, you're lying to yourself. And we think that's okay. It's like acceptable. We don't like it, but like, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink all my water today. And we lie and we lie. Imagine telling your child, we're going to go to the park today. And we don't. We're going to go to the park today. And we don't. Your kid would not believe you to do anything for that.
How long until that kid's just smoking cigarettes?
Seriously.
My daughter, she's 3. probably like 2-3 days. I tell her not go to the park. She'd be like, all right, I'll show you. I'm going to the park with Raul, my cousin.
I'll make this park trip happen.
Yeah, we're going out there. We're smoking a whole pack.
But we lie to ourselves. Like, it's such a good point you're making. And we lie to ourselves. We think it's okay. And it's not. And then eventually, that power between the mind and the body, super powerful. People don't realize this, but your mind thinks you're such a liar. And now your body's like, hey, we're a liar, and so you work out and you try, and your body's like, is it going to last? And it won't give up fat. It won't build muscle. Like, there's a really powerful connection between the two. They have to have a loving relationship.
This is one of the core values of my community, my program, the $1 Million Body Community is I like to say, be inevitable, because I think that if you say, I'm going to do X, and you can set your watch by the fact that I'm going to do that. I say I'm going to send you something, I send it to you. I'm sending to show up at a certain time, I'm there. I say I'm going to write a book. You're like, all right, when is the release date? When you say something, I think that being inevitable means doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And I think that is a unfortunately rare characteristic that puts you in this upper echelon where you start to believe that anything is possible, and it's crazy.
I love that. Be inevitable. Oh my God. I'm going to get that tattooed.
I'm going to get that tattoo. Where are you going to get yours?
My arm.
I'm going to get my right arm done.
That would look cool.
I'm getting lasered right now, so I'm not such a hairy monster. But then once that's done, right here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. I like it, but it's
I'm
true.
in Arizona. We can do it together. Don't worry about it.
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm new to the tattoo world. I only have one. Well, two.
Okay. So your addiction is ramping up now.
It's starting.
Okay. What is, besides our matching tattoo, what's your next tattoo going to be, if you don't mind?
I actually just put an email in the other day. And I want to get one up on my shoulder because I like nothing. This is all I have. You guys can't see, but on my forearm, and it's small. It's only like waves. It's a wave. It's a mommy wave. And then it's got little waves underneath representing my kids. And it says,
I love it. I
am enough. So literally every time I look down at my arm, and when I'm struggling, I am enough. And that can mean anything, but my next one, I'm very into ocean, totally believe in mermaids. Like they're real. I want on my shoulder and probably down onto my bicep, like a mermaid, a buff mermaid, like one that looks like she works out in the ocean. She's lifting seashells.
Of course.
I want her sitting on an anchor facing backwards. And then cause my grandpa was in the Navy, he's very much like my father, and he passed away. So I want the anchor symbol, his name in there. And
now we can see her rear delts.
Of course. And tricep, cause she's going to be leaning. So there's going to be some tricep there.
All right. Love it.
I just put an email in, but I'm scared because they responded.
But it's okay. They're hardly permanent. So not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Since we kind of have broached now, like the sudden death, like fast answer questions, can I ask you a bunch of questions really quickly?
Okay, go for it.
You ready for this?
I hope so.
Kind of like lightning round time.
I'm scared.
A really slow lightning round.
Okay.
All right. Second question, I guess, since the tattoo one. Under no circumstances would I, Melissa Vogel, ever
skydive or jump out of a plane.
Oh, very good.
Never.
The strangest thing I've ever been asked at the gym is,
can I take a picture of your feet?
I was so hoping we were going to go there. Thank you. Thank you for obliging me.
Oh, God.
Thank you for obliging me.
Who asks that?
I don't know. Probably the same guy who's sending me dick pics.
Probably. Oh, God.
And I look like this. And I get dick pics. Sometimes I think guys are just the worst. So I don't I'm sorry about that on behalf of the semi-normal ones.
You're all disgusting. I
know. Yeah. But I'll really only ask you for foot pics. Like that's a once a year type of thing. That's not
right.
That's bonkers.
Oh,
The number one physical possession I own, you can't say your phone, is.
Ooh, the number one physical possession I own, probably my house.
That's a pretty good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about something that's like smaller than a bread box?
My dog.
Is your dog smaller than a bread box?
Yeah. Can you see him? You probably can't see him.
Oh yeah, he's chilling.
He's tiny.
What kind of a dog is he?
A Pomchi.
All right.
He's like 6 pounds wet.
Okay.
And his
I
name
don't know if he's going to fit in a bread box, to be honest with you, but I'm gonna let it slide.
He would.
All right. If I could delete one song from existence and human memory, it would be snap your fingers and this song no longer exists and has never existed.
I Am Happy. I think that's what it's called.
I
Am happy.
Yeah, by Pharrell. And, yeah.
Hate that song.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't leave your brain.
Do you want to know a trick about that?
Yes.
Okay. So if you ever get happy stuck in your head ever again, or like any of those other, like, I don't know, I'm kind of in the like kids musical phase of my life. So you ever get a song stuck in your head, put on Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison, and that song will wash it all away. That's like hitting the reset button on your brain. Well, that song will be stuck in your head now, but it's always better.
I believe that. I just heard
that
the other day.
About, right?
Oh yeah. I was playing.
But I got to say that I love you. You lied to me.
Sounds just like that.
Yeah. A lot of people confuse me and Mark Morrison, as a matter of fact.
I can see that.
I get a lot.
Sure. I totally see that.
If I could have one superpower, it would be
to go invisible.
Ooh, invisible, huh? I guess if you're not going to jump out of a plane, you don't want to fly.
No.
This could go back to our previous question. If I need to make $1,000 as fast as possible, I would.
Oh. Okay, so several things came to my head, but I'm not gonna say it. I would. Oh man, I don't know. I'd probably sell something. Definitely not. And I'd sell something physical. I could definitely sell something physical.
I was hoping you were going to say foot pics.
Or foot pic.
Hit that guy up. All right. $1,000.
Oh.
The celebrity I get confused with most often is, for me, it's Mark Morrison. For you?
I don't get confused with it. Back in the day, it used to be Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
But I don't get that anymore.
Well, she's kind of like, she's a little bit, past her prime anyway. So it's not a you thing, it's a her thing.
Oh, okay, good. Thank God.
Now,
but yeah,
she's probably getting confused with you. You know what I mean?
For sure. Definitely.
My quarantine bad habit was.
Ooh, my quarantine bad habit. Probably not return, which is weird, but not returning like text and phone calls. Like I felt like I very much so like became a hermit in so many ways. And I got really, and I'm like, I just don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to see you. So I don't want to talk to you. And it's kind of continued on. And I'm so bad at texting back now.
Okay. So I'm not going to take it personally that you haven't returned my text for the last like 2 weeks.
Right, yes, please try not to.
No big deal. I'm not even stressed about it.
You're lucky I'm here right now.
I didn't cry. These aren't tears. All right, last one. I'm ready to go to prison right now if it means that I can.
Oh my God, that's a hard one.
I got all kinds of good questions.
Oh, I don't even know. What's your answer to that one?
If I could teleport, I'd go to prison right now. I'm kind of just piggybacking on the superhero question from earlier,
If I could if I could be invisible. Oh, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. I'm gonna be thinking about it while I'm lifting today.
Yeah. Just message me back and we'll put it in, we'll throw it in the episode.
Okay.
Melissa, thank you so much for being here today. This was a ton of fun. I was been pretty much cracking up this entire time. And if anyone who's listening wants to connect more with Melissa, where can they find you on the interwebs? We already talked a little bit about your website.
Yes. Oh, follow me on social media for sure. Instagram is it's Melissa Vogel, ITS Melissa Vogel. Because I share a lot of my life and my story on there and just everything. So you're really going to get there. And then everything's in the bio, and you can connect and find me.
So it's Melissa Vogel.
It's
I've always
Melissa
read it
Vogel.
as it's Melissa Vogel. So
it does play like that. Yeah. If you open your phone and when you go to my page, it plays that.
And it has like the little like jazz hands.
Yeah. And sparkles come down on the screen.
You also have a monthly challenge that people can jump into. I'm going to include the link in there, but can you talk about that just for a second?
Yeah, for sure. We always say it's great to get your feet wet before fully jumping in. And if that's something that you need, we run a challenge every single month. You get connected with our community. You get to know our coaches. You get to know me. You get to see me live daily. This week, our topic is all on nutrition. And then you're going to get my app too. You're going to get the Bomb Mom app. I create workouts to drop it in there for you. And it's a great way to just get started, get moving, see what you can do in a month, and then maybe commit higher level next month. But yeah, our challenges are always going on. You could jump in anytime. I just extend your time, if you're beyond 30 days of everyone else, and see if this is a fit for you.
Awesome. And I'll have all that linked up in the show notes, but that is fantastic. And also you get a chance to have an app on your phone called the Bomb Mom app. Like that's worth the price of admission right there. So,
right.
Melissa, what a treat to get a chance to chat with you today. Thanks so much for coming on. Anything you want to leave us with?
Oh, I hope everyone listens about the power of the mindset, your environment. Those I hope are the big things that you guys take away listening to this episode, and just know, and not the foot picks. If you want one, DM me. We'll set a price. I got that Mo.
It's a grand. I'll just tell you right now.
We'll take it from there. But just jump in, go for it. Though, you can make changes. You don't have to be stuck and stagnant and living a life of unhappiness and unfulfilled.
Amazing. Thank you very much. You are the best. Truly a class act, Melissa.
Thank you, Nate. Thanks for having me on.